those things. We need to learn few more things here, so we will try to cover those things. So what I did here, I created two variables and one another variable, result variable. So for the A variable, I provided 10, B 20. I did A plus B, and the result I stored on the result variable, and I written the result here. Okay. So now what happened for plus and minus, it is okay. But when I perform A by B, so what is happening? For example, let me do first B by A. So B, LB underscore B divided by LB underscore A. So what is the value here? Like 20 divided by 10, the value would be 2. Now if I activate this one and click on execute button, so you can see the 2 value. Now what happens if I did A by B? So which is 10 divided by 2. So what will be my result here? We need to understand what exactly system is trying to do. Because 10 by 2, the output will be, you see, it's 1. But is it really 1? If I go to calculator, okay, if I divide by 10 divided by 20, the value must be 0.5. So if it is 0.5, system is showing 1. So why it is showing 1? Because the output variable, which the result where I am storing, I define this variable as an integer. So but my output is a decimal. So system converts this decimal into integer. So while converting this decimal to integer, system round off. What is rounding? Rounding means when we have a decimal number like this 0.4, for example, if I take 0.4, based upon the number, if it is more than 5, it will round off, means it will make it your next possible integer number. So is this 4 more than 4, more than 5? It's not. So if it is not more than 5, then it will round off to the nearby, before. Nearby before integer. So what is 0.4 before means it is 0. Okay. So 0.4 lies between 0 and 1. So if the number after the decimal places is less than 5, then it will go to left hand side. If it is greater than 5, greater than or equal to 5, it goes to the right hand side. Since our value is 0.5, then it is displaying as 1. Okay, so this is called rounding off functionality. Okay, so now let's take any example where I will get a 0.4. So for example, instead of 20, if I take 40 here, okay, and then trying to activate and then click on execute button, you see the value I got is 0. Why? Because whenever I divide 10 divided by 40, it is 0.25, then which is less than or equal to 4. After decimal places, whatever value is there, it is less than 5. Then what happens? It will round off to the nearby, means left side one, because it is less than or equal to 5. Okay. So when I try to store a decimal place in a integer, the system will round off the value and displays the result. Okay, that point we are going to understand here. So what next here? Addition, subtraction, multiplication is easy. Okay, to perform addition, we use a plus symbol. To perform subtraction, we use minus symbol. To perform multiplication, we use into symbol. To divide and to perform division, we use backslash. Okay, these are the symbols we use mostly. But these are simple calculations. But what happen if my requirement is to perform, okay, if my requirement is to perform a plus b into a minus b. Okay, so if my requirement is to perform a plus b into a minus b, so whenever we have this kind of things, usually we perform this under this notation. So a plus b, first I need to perform, then a minus b with brackets. Okay, brackets plays important role here. So how to define a formula here, which is with this bracket symbol. So here also it is easy only. Like what needs to be done? Every alphabet, every letter must be separated with a comma, with a space. So first of all, a plus b I want to do. So bracket begin, space a plus b. Again, after b, give space, close the bracket, into, again, lv underscore b, a, space minus lv underscore b. So you see, if I forgot to give space here, system is showing red color. It means whenever this code is showing the red color, it means it is showing the it is saying that it is having error. Okay, there is some error in the code. So when I give space, then it will go off. Okay, so what happens if you have brackets in your formula, then brackets also you can use, but always remember we need to give spaces of before and after the bracket. Okay, so like this. So generally what we need to remember here, when for example, if without brackets, if I have a value called a plus b minus c, so if I have such kind of formula, so how into c into sorry, a plus b into b. So if I have a formula to be calculated in this way, then how you are going to calculate it? Okay, this is another important. So the formula which was given to you doesn't have any brackets. Your requirement is to calculate formula in this only. So how system is going to perform it? Is it going to perform from left hand to right hand side or right hand to left hand side? Which we don't know. But what exactly system follows? We have a called BODMAS rule. BODMAS. BODMAS. B means bracket, of functions, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So our system also follows the same kind of functionality. Okay. So out of it, here we have plus, minus in multiplication. So first multiplication will be happen, and then plus happens, and then subtraction finally. Okay, so if you give formula in this way to the system also follows BODMAS rule only, and then derives the result. Okay, for you. So that's all. These are all like theory kind, but which you need to remember, in case of writing formulas in this way. Okay, so done. So now, so far now I'm concluding, with the integer data type. So there is nothing much to learn about this about this integer type more. So next data type which I am going to go is a character type. Okay, so you can define a number of integer variables in this way and perform your calculations. No problem here. One more thing. Yeah, that's fine. Next. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, fine. So now next data type what we are going to learn is character data type. Okay, so I'm deleting my code here and freshly comes with a character data type example. Okay, so what is character? So alphabets A to Z, or any special characters, anything comes under character only, correct? So for example, yeah, let's take an for example, let's define it. And to define any variable, I must use the keyword data only. Okay, and after data, I am keeping colon because I want to define all variables at one place separated with commas. Okay, that's why I'll always keep a data colon, and then I want to define a variable called lv underscore first name. So f underscore f name is nothing but first name here. Okay, type. So if you want to define a variable to store your name, okay, to which can store your name. Earlier we defined variables where it stores which stores integer values, okay, but now I am defining a variable where it can stores the names, which is nothing but characters. Okay, then you need to define this data type as C. So, but when you define it as a C, you need to define the length of this one, variable also. For integers, no need to define length, but for character data types, it is mandatory to you define the length. If you don't define length of this, variable of a character, then by default, system consider it as a one only. Okay. So now I will show you first lv underscore l name, which is nothing but last name. Okay. I am defining these two variables, and now on the first name LV underscore F name is equal to, here I wish to give my first name here. For example, here I am trying to give Srinivas. So whenever you are passing, whenever you are trying to store a character string, this is a character, right? Each alphabet is nothing but one character. If you are trying to store character information into a variable, you must prefix, not prefix, we must keep that string within the single quotes. Okay, this is single quote. You must give in this way only. If you don't give single quote, system will consider it as an error message. Okay, or variable. So you must keep this under single quotes. So now like this we need to pass. For integers, simply if you give 10, it will take it. But if it is a string type or if it is a character string, then you must keep it in the single quotes. Now I am trying to write this first name on the screen, LV underscore F name. Okay, so I am trying to store Srinivas string like a name, one name into my local variable, and I'm printing that local variable to the output screen. So a very simple program here to understand how character works. Activate, execute. You see, I got only S. Why? Because you see only S got stored in the variable. Why? Because when you define a variable of type C without any length specification, then system considers the length as 1 only. Okay, but if I give here 50 and if I define last name also to 50, then system allocates 50 characters to this name. Now if I try to activate and execute my code, now you can see 50 is coming here like this. Okay, so what happens if I try to print again last name also, like let me give my last name LV underscore L name is equal to Mary. Okay, now I am trying to print my last name also, right? LV underscore L name. Activate. Now I am executing this program. Now you see Srinivas and then Merity. Oh, you see Srinivas came here, Merity came here. Why this much space is there in between these two? And when I click on this one, you see, even though it is showing only the 5 characters here, but the boxes, whatever square boxes it is showing very big. So this particular box is coming because of the length what I given here. Okay, 50. Even though I am storing a less string which contains less than max 5 characters, but the length of the variable is 50, so system is allocating 50 character space to this variable. Okay, like that. Okay, but so here the point here is when you define the variables, so in real time we don't have a requirement to print it on the output screen. In real time we use ABAP to store some internal values and then perform some logic and then finally write the output again to the DSOs and all like that. Okay, routines and all we will write, so we are not too much bothered about how exactly it is displaying on the screen at this point at least. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so I created 2 variables and I tried to store my first name and last name and I print it on the screen. So when you print it on the screen, you see it coming one after another. Okay, and that too you see, even though you get, is it looking good? You see it is unnecessarily showing too much spaces here, right? Somewhere it is Srinivas is there, somewhere it's Mehdi there. These two are not at all combining together. Okay, so but now instead of getting one after another, I want one below and next one. So Srinivas and then below to Srinivas I want to Mehdi. So how can I bring this output of next next word statement below to this Srinivas? So how I can do it? By using a new line character. So by you have to give this a backslash. If you give this backslash, what happens is system prints print always this particular output on the new line. Instead of continuing to the existing line, it will go to the new line and print the output if you keep this backslash. Okay, now I am executing my program. You see, now it came to the below to the Srinivas. Okay, so what we learned here, how to bring our output to the next line, we learned here. So what next? The next thing is character string, right? Okay. So Srinivas might be fine. So for example, if you're trying to provide a value which is greater than 50 characters, then again system will take only 50 characters because you define this variable as a of length 50. You given a length of 50 to this one. Okay. So next. So integer covered and the character string covered. So next is for example, next is some people their name must be but yeah, when defining this kind of variables in real time in our real time projects now, so we must make sure the value whatever we are giving, is it correctly satisfies the value or not. Sometimes is there any chance of getting bigger value than this 50 or not, we need to think of it. Okay, for those reasons SAP given another functionality. Instead of using this number or defining with the C, try to define with the data type string. Okay, string is another data type. Okay, so this string will take the will define the length of it. 1 minute. Sorry, we didn't debug this code, right? So let's debug this code and then let's then go to the string option. Okay, let me activate it. How to debug the code? Two ways you can debug the code. Go back one step, click on the debugging screen, debugging button, and then system starts debugging from starting of the report. By pressing this F5 on the top, you can go to next executable line. So now, this is my executable line, LV underscore F name. By double clicking on the LV F name, it will come to my variable section. Okay, I always go to desktop tree. Okay, so LV underscore F name. So currently LV underscore F name contains nothing. If it is an integer data type, by default system allocates 0 value. But if it is a char data type, system doesn't put anything. If nothing is there, it is nothing but null. We call it as a null. At this point of time, nothing was assigned to my first name, nothing was assigned to my last name. Okay, double click on last name, then it comes to this right side. So next thing is here you see this is the technical type, which is nothing but the data type and the length it is showing here, C of 50, which is nothing but it is a character string of length, max length 50, character string of max length 50 for last name also. Okay, now when I press F5 from the top, what happened? System got assigned Srinivas value to this first name. Then you see Srinivas got stored here, and then second, if I execute F5, then last name also filled with email ID value. Then finally I am writing those two out to the output screen. So you don't want to go step by step because executable statements you can understand it. Writing statements you don't need to go step by step. I want to end my program debugging. If you want to end your program debugging, simply click on this, press F8. If you click on F8, then it will come out of the debugging, and it will come to the end of your program. Okay, end of my program is displaying my output screen. Go back one step. Then you came out of the debugging. Okay, so now you see all good. Now next thing. So now we seen, right, when we go to the debugging mode, there it is showing the data type of this variable is C of length 50. Now I am going to the next data type called string. Okay, so if you don't know the runtime length of this variable till runtime, then such kind of variables you have to define by using the data type string. So string is also nothing but a group of characters. String means nothing but group of characters. Okay, when you define the string data type for any variable, you no need to specify the length of the variable. System takes the length based upon the value you are trying to store. So that we are going to learn now. So nothing. String also stores alphanumeric values, and so here that's why I now. What happened on the first name, I stored my Srinivas value, last name I stored my Mehdi value. I am clicking on this check button to check my program is the syntactically correct or not, and then I am activating it. Activated. So now let's learn, let's try to execute this one. Yeah, output was printed. Now if I click on this Srinivas, you see now this brackets, whatever red brackets are coming, they're coming exactly to the length of my name. And if I try to keep this both outputs on the same line instead of new line, and then try to execute my program. Now you see that Srinivas and Melody was only separated with a space. Almost they are next to next. Okay. When I am defining this with character 50, then it is system is giving 50 allocating 50 character space for Srinivas and Melody for 50 character space. But whenever I define with string, it is allocating exactly the length of the value. Okay, dynamically it is taking the value. Now how we can prove it is taking dynamically? Now for that reason I am going to debugging mode now. So I am executing my program in debugging mode. I am going to desktop 3. Every time I am coming to desktop 3, right? But if you want to fix your layout to desktop 3, simply go to desktop 3 and click on this save layout. Okay, if you click on this save layout, then click on S button. That's it. Okay, now from now on it won't come to standard. It will come directly to this standard desktop 3 only. I'm pressing F5 now. So you see LV underscore F name, LV underscore last name. And I want to see what is my data type here. You see C of string. So how SAP defined the length here? C string, character string of length 0. Since nothing was assigned so far to my variables, system considering the length of this variable as 0. When I am executing this first statement, LV underscore F name is equal to Srinivas by pressing the F5 button. Now Srinivas will be stored here. You see now the length got changed to 8. Means dynamically it is changing the length of the variable based upon the value I am trying to store. Okay, when I try to store Melody to my second variable, it is giving 6 characters. You see, so that's how string works. Okay, so based upon your requirement, you can define your variable either a character string with the C data type, or you can use a string data type. Okay, it's up to you. But generally, string is the most very useful data type where we can perform lot of operations. So what kind of operations we can perform using string and all, we will let you know. I will let you know. Okay. So now I am clicking on F8 button. So to come out of this debugging and program end of the program, and then I am coming back here. Okay. Nice. Again, going to the change mode of my program. So next what we are going to learn is, string functions. What is called it is, I am right here. String functions. Okay. So what is meant by string function? This is very important to learn. Okay. So far whatever data types we learn is integer data type, char data type, and string data type. So how to use it, how to store it, that we learn. But what exactly is string functions? String functions are used to perform operations, some kind of operations on the strings. This is Srinivas is nothing but string. What is string? A set of characters combined, a group of characters can be called as a string. Okay, na? So now what is my requirement here is, we will have requirements. So to perform those requirements, we use this string functions. So let's see what is my requirement now. So I want to convert this particular string Srinivas into capital letters. So currently when I am printing this one into my output, okay, it was printing as it is how I given. So if I am not using the new line character, it is showing next one after another. If I am giving new line character in the right statement, it is showing on the one below another one. Okay, now my requirement is whatever I give here, that is a secondary. I want to print this, convert this string into uppercase and then print it on the output screen. Okay, so let's see how I can do this, find out. So if the requirement is to perform some operations on the strings, then we use string functions. Okay, so now let's learn about these string functions. So how to write this how to convert this to uppercase letter? So simply now very important point before writing this function. So you have this variable lv underscore f name, and you have you already storing this value in it. So yeah, we need to understand a bit, okay, before proceeding further. Then based upon your understanding, then we can proceed here. So on the system, you are defining lv underscore first name as a variable. Okay, this is variable. It means it is a placeholder. So system allocates some memory, like I'm taking this box for you. So system allocates this memory for you to store the value of this first name. So when you give here first name as Srinivas, system storing this Srinivas value into this memory. Okay. Now our requirement is to convert into cap letters. So after converting into cap letters, are you willing to store or are you willing to overwrite the value stored here, or after converting the value, do you wish to store in a different variable? For example, lv underscore upper. So there is another variable you can create. That means you can create a new variable, and in this new variable you can store your converted value. Okay. So this is one option. Or the place where you stored the original value, you can overwrite with the latest value. Okay. Either way you can do it. So how you are going to do is up to your requirement. Okay. You can decide based upon your requirement. If you want the original value also to be displayed, means you want to keep your original value, then definitely you need to create a new variable and store the new value here. Or if you don't need old value, and you can then you can directly replace the original variable only. Okay, so that is this is completely based upon your requirement. Okay, creating new variable or overriding the new variable. So I will show you how to do this. Okay, so for example, overwriting means what I can do. I have this lv underscore f name variable. So in the same variable, I want to convert this Srinivas to capital letters and then store it. Then simply to convert this value string to uppercase, I have a string function called to underscore upper. Okay, this is the string function. So when you are using string function, you need to keep bracket immediately, because it is a function. It will be followed by immediate bracket, no spaces here. Okay, immediate bracket, then space, and then provide your variable name lv underscore f name. So why I am giving this one like this? Why I am giving like this means by this time, by the time system comes to my 17th line, it's already storing Srinivas value into my variable lv underscore f name. Correct. So now if you pass here, if you provide here lv underscore f name, nothing but you are giving the Srinivas value between these brackets. Okay, you are giving Srinivas value between these brackets. You are, but instead of writing it dynamically, you are passing the variable where it contains this value information. Okay, now what happens? The value coming under this variable will be converted to uppercase and again storing on the same value. Okay, now let's activate this function, this program. Okay, LV I written. So now what exactly it is telling? So let's try to understand the error messages also. The field LFF name is unknown, but there is a field with similar name LVF name. So at what line number? 70th line number. So now you see on the left hand side I have line numbers, right? Now I can directly go to 17th line number, and somewhere the field LFF name. So where it is LFF name? Here. So system is saying LFF name is unknown field, but there is a similar name LV underscore F name, which is this one. So I have to correct it because it is a wrongly spelled. So activate it and then activate and then execute. Now you see this Srinivas got converted into capital letters. Now in the debugging mode, now we try to understand it in more detail. So I'm executing my program in the debugging mode. I'm coming one step back. I'm going to debugging mode. And then so I'm coming here. You see now when I came to this debugging mode, directly it come to desktop 3 instead of standard. Why? Because earlier I saved the layout to the desktop 3. Okay. Now when I press F5, it comes to here. 14th line. Double click on LVF name. So currently it doesn't hold any value. Last name also doesn't hold any value. I am pressing F5. So now this Srinivas is storing in my first name and my Mehdi was storing in my second name, last name. Okay. Now it came to 17th line. So currently when this particular statement is executing, so the statement execution happens from, right to left. Okay. So now when it is system is trying to apply this string function accepting one variable called LVF name. So in this LVF name, currently the value stored is Srinivas. Now this Srinivas, on the Srinivas, I am going to use this to upper. So now what happens, currently it is showing small letters. Whenever I press F5, you see on the same place it got converted to Srinivas. So as explained in the Excel sheet, simply I am overwriting the value which is there here. I am overwriting with the latest value. So the old value will be gone and only latest value you are seeing here. Okay. So now I'm printing those, this one and this one on the output screen. That's it. Okay, so that is how. So this is how to define, a string function. How to use a string function to convert values. If instead of storing on the same thing, if you want to store on a new thing, that also we can do. I will show you those things also. Now next what I am going to do is I am going to define a one more new variable. Okay, LV underscore full name type string. So full name is nothing but I want to concatenate, means full name is nothing but the combination of first name and last name, right? It means I need to combine both the names. So combine in ABAP terminology, we call it as a concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but joining two different values into single value. Okay, so for that we have another string function called concatenation. So how to use concatenation? con. You can use this control space. Control space, if you press, then you can get this kind of help here. Okay, concatenate means nothing but combine, which you want to combine LV underscore F name space. After that we need to give concatenate. After concatenation you need to provide which are the variables that you wish to concatenate, LVF name and LV underscore last name. So the variables when you are passing, you must provide space in between each variable. Okay, so you want to combine these two. First is the first name followed by the last name, and then after concatenation you wish to store the output into, means the output of this concatenation you wish to store into LV underscore full name. Okay, so concatenation is one kind of string function which is used to combine more than one variable. So then after that we can store it on a new variable. Even you can use the existing variable also, no problem. Either new variable, activate. And then I wish to write my full name also here, right? I want to print my full name on the new line. So LV underscore full name. Activate. Execute. You see now, when you concatenate, you see when you are printing each variable separately, then there is a space between each each string. First variable and second variable, there is a space in between. But when you concatenate both, there is no space at all. You see, after the S, it is followed by M immediately. Okay, so to make it more clear, I will remove my first two write statements. I will print only this one. Okay, so system got concatenated both values into single value. Srinivas Meriti, now it's a single string. But this is not looking good. When you write your full name, you always keep space in between those two things, right? So how to bring space now in this concatenation? Okay, after the variable result value, here you can add extra keyword called separated by. Okay, when I type yes, system is proposing the statement keyword separated by. If you want to use it, simply click on tab button. Whenever system is proposing the statement what you are going to write, if it is correct, click on the tab, it will come automatically. It means it will be filled on the screen. Okay, separated by space. Space means nothing but in the single, within the you can provide single quotes and in the single quotes between one empty space here. Okay, or else if you want to separate with underscore, the first name and last name you want to separate with underscore, whatever string, because it is also again a character, so any character you are passing, you must be you must be included within the single quotes. So you need to pass in this way. Now what happens, this first name and last name will be separated by using this underscore symbol. Okay, now see how to do it. Activate, execute. Now you see the first name and last name was separated by underscore. In this way you can combine, you can combine means join these two things by using any character. If you want to keep space in between these two, simply put space here within the single quotes and then execute, then you can see space here. And if you want to some other symbol, hyphen, water symbol, you can use it. Okay, so this is how concatenation works. So let's check this one also in the debugging mode simply one more time to make it more clear. So when we learning the ABAP program on the initial days, we learn each and every program by debugging it, because you must be more familiar with the debugging mode, which is very useful to handle very bigger kind of code when you are writing. Okay, so I defined a variable first name, last name, and then full name. Okay, pressing F5, so Srinivas came here, Mayday came here, and then concatenation statement. When you press F5, everything will be done in one single step only. So it is concatenating and storing the both values in one single value. Okay, and then if you want to convert this concatenated value, means full name, into upper, you can use again upper statement, 2_upper on this one. So like this, you have many string functions are there. If you want to know all the string functions provided by SAP, then simply press anywhere on any keyword given by system, press F1, select that keyword and press F1. So system will open system help, ABAP help. Okay, in any software you will see question mark, right? Same way. So when you press F1, system will go for help here. So now here, just simply on the search button, type string functions. Then here you can get subject to string functions. Go here. So why it is not showing on system? You see string examples, string functions examples and all you can see here. I am pressing double click on here. Yeah, when you double click it, system will navigate to the string functions. Yeah, it is there. It is bottom actually. So string functions, and if you expand these things, then you can get to know string functions. Lot of string functions are there. Which one we learn now? We learned about this concatenation concat statement, not this one. 2_upper. We learned about 2_upper. So in the way 2_upper is there, 2_lower is there. Many are there. Okay, and then we learned about concatenation statement. So where it is concatenation statement here? Concat lines. Somewhere it will be there. I'm not able to find out here at this point of time. String length is also one of the function. Many functions are there. Okay, whatever it may be. So now next. So we will go to the next example. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. I will give you the assignment here. So on these things, then we will go on the next session. We will go for further. Okay. So now let's take some assignment on whatever we learn. So assignment. Create a program to perform A plus B minus C. Okay, so you can write a program to perform this A plus B minus C operation. Okay. Next, create a program to perform a a divided by b, a plus b divided by c. So now here you are going to use three variables. Now you are not working with two variables, but you are working with three variables. Okay. So create a program to perform a plus b divided by a plus c. Okay. So you can define integer data type while creating these things. Okay. Next, create a program to store first name and last name and first name and last name, display it on output screen in two separate lines. It means you need to use the new line character to bring back into the second line. Okay. So create a program to print your first name and last name in capital letters. Means you need to capital letters and small letters. So you have to define two variables. Okay, full name with full name, you need to define two variables. One variable must store your first name last name information in capital letters. Another variable must show your first name last name in the small letters. So you need to write two different say one program only, but you need to store it under two different variables and print it on the one. Okay, first name last name. And to print to concatenate your to print to concatenate your first name and last name and print it. That's it. Okay, and print it in capital letters and small letters separately. So try to write this program, and then what else we will learn here? Yeah, so far I think it is okay. So far these are the basic programs. So if you are able to write these programs with simple steps now, very basic programs. So we are going day by day, we will improve this complexity, we will improve the many other topics into these things. So we already started using string functions. So far whatever string functions we are using, those are very minimal. Okay, so tomorrow I will teach you more string functions. Those are complex. Okay, so you are going to learn those things. So I'm saving this one and I'm stopping recording.